There are moments at the end of the day when the body is tired, but the mind keeps walking. You lie down, the room is quiet, and yet something inside continues to move. Old thoughts, small worries, unfinished conversations. Even when nothing is wrong, the mind sometimes searches for danger, the way eyes search for light in the dark. Tonight, there is nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to become. Only rest. Welcome to Sleepy Zen Story. This is a place where stories move slowly, where the breath softens, and where the mind is allowed to rest without effort. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to remember anything. Just let the words pass through you like moonlight across still water. Before we continue, you may gently notice, where in the world are you listening from? There is no need to answer, just a soft awareness. And what time is it for you right now? Night or early morning or somewhere in between? And now, let that thought go. Nothing needs your attention anymore. Begin by noticing your breath. Not changing it, not controlling it, just noticing that it is already happening. In and out. Like the quiet rise and fall of a river moving through the night. If you hear the gentle crackle of a fire, imagine it nearby, low, steady, safe. Each soft sound pulls your attention inward instead of outward. Your shoulders soften. Your jaw releases. Your forehead smooths. There is nowhere else to be. The fire continues to crackle softly, each sound small and unhurried, as if it has nowhere else to be. The river flows the same way, no resistance, no urgency, only movement. You remain seated near the riverbank, aware of the wall across the water and the shadow resting upon it. It does not chase you. It does not grow. It simply waits. A shadow is never separate from light. It exists only because light exists. And yet, the mind often forgets this. In the dark hours of the night, a shadow can feel like a presence, a warning, a sign of something wrong. But if you sit long enough and breathe gently enough, you begin to notice. The shadow has no weight, no sound, no intention. It does not want anything from you. Rather than turning away, you allow yourself to look, softly, without judgment. You do not stare. You simply notice. The shape seems unclear. Its edges blur and sharpen with the flicker of the firelight. And you realize something subtle. The shadow changes, not because it moves, but because the light does. Fear is often the same. In daily life, fear often appears like this. A thought arrives late at night. A memory. A what if. It feels solid at first, convincing. But when examined gently, it shifts, not because you argue with it, but because attention itself is light, and light reveals what was never solid to begin with. As the fire settles lower, the shadow on the wall softens. Its edges lose certainty. You notice that what once felt tall now feels closer to the ground. Not weaker, just smaller. Nothing has been defeated. Nothing has been pushed away. Understanding has done all the work. You return your awareness to the breath, in and out. Each breath like a quiet lantern moving through the body. With every exhale, the body sinks deeper into rest. With every inhale, the mind loosens its grip. The shadow continues to exist, but it no longer commands attention. The river does not stop when it meets darkness. It does not ask what lies beneath the surface. It flows because flowing is its nature. Fear fades the same way, not by being stopped, but by being allowed to pass. Nothing needs to be fixed. Fear does not mean failure. Fear does not mean danger. It often means the mind is protecting old habits that no longer need protection. When seen clearly, fear bows quietly and steps aside. In your imagination, you gently walk closer to the wall, not to confront the shadow, only to see. As you approach, you notice something unexpected. The shadow does not belong to the wall. It belongs to a small stone resting between the fire and the surface. A simple thing, ordinary. All this time, what felt large was created by distance. Closer now, the mind relaxes. Nothing was hidden, nothing was waiting, just light, an object, and a surface. The shadow was never an enemy. You sit again. No conclusions needed, no lesson to remember. The body understands before the mind ever needs to. Fear, examined gently, loses its voice. The fire lowers further. The river darkens into silver-black calm. The wall fades from attention. Only the breath remains. And as awareness grows quieter, the story begins to dissolve into pure rest. The river no longer needs to be imagined. Its rhythm has already entered the body. Breath and water move together now without instruction. The fire has grown quieter, its warmth steady but subtle, like a memory of comfort rather than a sensation. And in this softened space, attention turns inward without effort. Notice how awareness no longer sits behind the eyes. It feels wider now, less located. Thoughts arise, but they do not ask to be followed. They drift like faint reflections on moving water. Nothing is held, nothing is pushed away. Earlier, fear seemed to belong to something specific, a thought, a shape, a shadow. Now it feels different. Where is fear located? Not as a question to answer, but as a gentle noticing. Is it in the chest, the stomach, the breath? Or is it simply a sensation passing through open space? When examined this way, fear has no center, no owner.
Fear fades, not because it disappears, but because it is no longer believed. Belief requires tension, and tension has already left the body. In the mind's eye, the wall is barely visible now. The stone that once created the shadow rests quietly, no longer important. Light spreads evenly, no sharp edges remain, and the idea of a shadow loses meaning when the mind stops asking what something means. It begins to rest. There is no need to label experience. Calm does not need a reason. Stillness does not need permission. You are not watching the river anymore. You are resting as the quiet in which the river appears. You are not breathing. Breathing is happening within stillness. Nothing needs to be adjusted. The legs feel heavy. The hands soften. The tongue rests. Even the space behind the thoughts relaxes. Sleep approaches without being invited. Sometimes fear returns out of habit, like a sound in the distance that no longer carries meaning. If it appears again tonight, it will find no resistance, and without resistance, it cannot stay.
The river is no longer seen. It is heard. A soft, continuous presence guiding attention downward into rest. Each sound pulls awareness deeper into the body, into the bed, into the earth, into sleep. There is nothing left to follow. The story loosens its grip. Words begin to arrive slower, with more space between them. Meaning dissolves into rhythm. This is the moment between waking and sleeping, a place without edges. Thoughts blur, images fade, only comfort remains. If the mind tries to listen, let it. If it drifts, let it. Both lead to the same place. The fire has nearly gone out. The river flows unseen. The night holds everything, and you are already resting inside it. There is nothing left to understand. The mind no longer needs to follow the sound of the river or the warmth of the fire. Even listening begins to soften. Notice how the idea of you has grown quiet. Not gone, just unnecessary. Breath continues, the body rests. Awareness floats without a center, like moonlight spreading across water without choosing where to land. There is no instruction now, no guidance, only space. If a thought appears, it fades before finishing. If an image forms, it melts into darkness. Nothing is held. The wall no longer exists. The stone is forgotten. Light has no obstruction, and without obstruction, there can be no shadow. Fear has nothing to stand upon. The night does not judge. It does not hurry. It allows all things to rest inside it. You are already resting within that same quiet. Words slow. Gaps grow longer. Meaning loosens into rhythm. Silence becomes the teacher. There is nothing you need to remember from this story. There is nothing you need to carry into tomorrow. Sleep knows what to do better than the mind ever could. Breath continues without noticing itself. The body has forgotten its edges. Sound is distant now, as if coming from another place. The river flows, but no one listens. The night remains, but no one names it. Thoughts do not finish. Images do not form. There is only a gentle drifting downward. If awareness returns for a moment, it finds nothing to hold, and so it releases again.
Firelight is gone. Moonlight is gone. Even darkness no longer needs to be seen. Without effort, breath slower, body heavier. Nothing is missing. Nothing is coming next. Sleep deepens on its own. No listener, no story, no night, only rest. Breath barely noticed. The body no longer checks whether it is safe. It already is. Sound may come or not. Both are fine. Awareness drifts like fog without direction. If a thought appears, it finds no words. If a feeling appears, it has no story. The night does not respond. Sleep deepens without signal. No beginning, no ending, only the gentle absence of effort. Nothing to follow, nothing to miss. Rest continues even without listening.
The words grow quiet now. The space between them grows wide. Breath continues on its own, slow, easy, unnoticed. Nothing needs your attention anymore. The night holds you without asking anything in return. Thoughts soften. The body rests. Awareness drifts like moonlight dissolving into water. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to hear. And as sleep deepens naturally, as stillness completes the story, good night from Sleepy Zen Story.